feel like we all make mistakes. Just I made a mistake in using bad judgment and making bad decisions, and those things, just can't happen.
Inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown, his first of the season.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from this whole ordeal, journeying back?
The biggest lesson I've learned, to be honest, is, just to be forthright, be honest, tell the truth. Whenever you're in a situation that may be detrimental to what you have going on in your life at the time, I think it's more appropriate to tell the truth and get it out the way and deal with the consequences, as opposed to, telling a lie and having people, look at you in a totally different aspect and not respecting you. You try to remember your last lie you told, and it's hard to do, and you just get caught up in a bad situation. Now everybody's turning their back towards you because there's no trust and there's no loyalty. So I learned being honest and dealing with the consequences is probably the best thing you could ever do if you're in a bad situation. So I learned that first and foremost, and also to make good judgment, to go out and try to make the right decisions on a daily basis, which is a hard thing to do. Easy if you make it. Keep yourself out of bad situations and try to provide more positive opportunity for yourself, then you're going to have to deal with the negative results.
I'd be irresponsible if I didn't have you talk on the menace of drugs and violence. That is, really tearing our neighborhood apart. What do you say to that?
Obviously, as you ride through the downtown areas and poverty-stricken areas in our community and in the entire peninsula, you see violence, you see drugs, you see gangs, you see everything going on under the sun. And it's something that shouldn't be going on, but it's just what's going on in the environment. And kids got to understand that you don't want to be a product of the environment. You want your environment to be a product of you. And I think people have to get out there and preach that message. And I've been speaking with the Humane Society. I've been speaking to schools, all across the world. And awareness is going up in dog fighting, and kids are being receptive. So I think it's just all about people stepping up and just saying, look, this is wrong, you shouldn't do this. And sometimes you can get the average individual to go out and speak, and it won't make a world of a difference. But you put a guy like myself in that position, and kids kind of gravitate to what you're saying. So I think that's got to be more of my role, as time goes on, because other than that, it's not going to stop. Unless a kid says, listen, I'm going to change my life, I'm going to turn it over to Christ, or I'm going to turn it over to just doing positive things, then they'll never make progress, or if they do, then they'll excel. So I think that message just has to be preached.
Well, your biggest enemy out here right now, everybody knows, is PETA.
Yeah.
There's been news reports that PETA may get $1 million from Playgirl if you agree to pose nude in Playgirl. Where'd that come from, and is PETA going to get that $1 million?
I don't know where it came from, but I won't comment on that. I'm focused on playing football and trying to get myself in a position where I can excel. So I won't entertain that right now.
Well, you plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
Last thing I want to ask you. You're truly a changed man after this ordeal. And the thing I see, and I think that surprises a lot of people, is your gift as a speaker.
Right.
I thought Michael Vick was shy and spoke in, 1-2 sentences. What? And then you all on TV? What? Did you take speech at Club Fair?
Well,
what?
I've always been laid back, kind of shy kid, but that was because I wanted to be. I really didn't like being around people. I always wanted to be around my friends and in the house playing the game, so I kind of sheltered myself. I realized as I was in prison what I was really missing out on, and how could I come out and make a difference, and what I needed to do and what I needed to work on. And as you get to thinking, you think about all the things that you don't do, as opposed to things that you did do. And I sat back and I said, look, what was I not doing when I was out in society? And what can I do to help change people in our culture and cultures all around the world? And I just thought about it and I said, look, I got to be more proactive. Got to be more outspoken. I have to do it, and I can't do it. I just don't do it. So just do it. So I was challenging myself in a sense, and just trying to put myself in a position where I could help people, let my voice be heard, and get my face out there.
Do you just let it flow? I mean, where do you get this energy? Where do you get this gift of gab?
I just let it flow. No notes. Not being prompt or prepped. I may think about what I want to say the night before and just pray on it and just let it flow. I'm not coming with no notes and an apology or anything like that. I'm just gonna let it ride. And when you do that, it's more sincere, and people, they gravitate to it, and it's more compelling, and I think it's more honest. So I just try to put it out there, just so people can understand what I'm saying, and depending on the crowd that I'm talking to, people can understand the message.